Dear students, let us discuss another topic, the origin and types of vertebrate kidneys. Myself Sarshad Hussain from Government Degree College Surancoat. Kidneys, along with their ducts, they basically form the urinary system of vertebrates, and their function is to excrete harmful metabolic nitrogenous wastes. Means the waste produced in the cells after metabolical activities, the constructive and destructive reactions that have taken place inside the cells, they have produced so many wastes also called the nitrogenous waste, which is required to be excreted from the body, and the kidneys are the main organs which will excrete this nitrogenous waste. Now, by doing so, by excreting the nitrogenous waste, they basically regulate the composition of body fluid. Means body fluid, or you can say the fluid, tissue fluid present within the cell, around the cell, must have a proper concentration of each and everything. They must not have anything which can be called as a waste, because waste or the nitrogenous waste are toxic. So, they must be removed. So, if they will not be removed, they will be dumped inside the body fluid, and body fluid will become toxic to the body. So, it is how they regulate the composition of body fluid, that whenever you find that the body fluid is fine enough because your kidneys are functioning properly. Vertebrate kidneys are a pair of compact organ, you can see present on one side, other on other side. So, there is a pair, they are present on the dorsal side. So, this is the dorsal side of the body. In the trunk region, one on either side of dorsal aorta. So, we are having a dorsal aorta running here. So, one is present on left side, other is present on the right side of the dorsal aorta. Let us look at the basic structure and origin. Each kidney is composed of so many uriniferous tubule or the nephron. You can see this is the kidney. You take just a little part, and in turn it is made up of this type of structure, which is called as nephron or the uriniferous tubule also. Now, how many nephron will be present within a kidney and what will be the structure of these nephron? Its complexity and arrangement differs from one organism to other. Like in human being, about 1,000,000 nephrons may be present within a kidney. These kidney tubules arise in embryo in a linear series from special part of mesoderm called mesomere and nephrotome. So, during the course of development, the kidney tubules, they comes out from the mesomere or the nephrotome, and they comes out in a series. You can see here you have a series of tubules running from this end to this end. These are called the tubules, the kidney tubules. If you look at each tubule, one tubule has the following three parts. One is peritoneal funnel, other is Malpighian body, and then you are having the tubule. Like you can see over there, this is the peritoneal funnel, this is the Malpighian body, and then you are having the tubule. So, three parts are there as far as the tubule is concerned. Let us look at the peritoneal funnel now. the free end of the urinary ferrous tubule. You can see this is the tubule, and the tubule is having a free end over there. It is just like a funnel, you can look at the shape, and it is having many cilia present inside it, and this is called as peritoneal funnel. The opening of the peritoneal funnel is called the nephrostome or coelomostome. It is a wide aperture. This aperture will collect the waste from the coelom, because this opening of the tubule is basically this free end is lying the coelom. So, here it will be a coelomic cavity. So, from the coelomic cavity waste will be collected through this nephrostome. Now, nephrostome are usually confined to embryos and larvae and considered vestiges of hypothetical primitive kidney. So, they are present in the larvae or the embryo, they may not be present, they go as a vestigial organ having no function in the adult one. No, the word hypothetical means, because you may not be able to find a single individual in the origin of the vertebrates which will be showing a primitive type of kidney. So, from the after observing so many lower vertebrates, you can conclude that such type of kidney would have occurred during the past in the ancestor of the vertebrates. So, that kidney you have constructed based upon the informations gathered from studying various animal is called the hypothetical primitive kidney. Now, the Malpighian tubule, basically what happens that a tubule it begins with a blind cup like double walled structure, this one which is called as Bowman capsule. In this Bowman capsule you are having a tuft of blood capillaries which is called as glomerulus. Now, this bunch of blood capillaries is receiving the blood from the afferent arteriole, and then from this bunch the another afferent arteriole is another artery is coming out, which is after coming is woven around the loop of Henle or other, you can say the tubular network posterior to this Malpighian body. So, basically this glomerulus along with Bowman capsule together called as Malpighian body are also called as renal corpuscle. Now, posterior to renal corpuscle the tubule is there. So, you have so many parts of tubule, we will study it in the next slide, and around the tubule this afferent arteriole is interwoven. Then if you have the encapsulated glomeruli, so glomeruli means the here you can see glomeruli means blood capillaries. So, if the blood capillaries are encapsulated with the help of this Bowman capsule, they can be called as internal glomeruli, but sometimes the Bowman capsule may not be present and they are external, they are called the external glomeruli. You can see here this is the external glomeruli, no Bowman capsule is present over there, because the tubule is having its length short of it, it is not connected with it, it is not enclosing it. So, this here it is the external glomeruli. Normally, this condition is present in the larvae and the embryos only, and the capsule, the Bowman capsule which will not have the glomeruli inside it will be called as aglomerular, and it is found in embryos, larvae and some fishes also. Then coming to the tubule, so the portion posterior to this Malpighian body are the renal corpuscle, which is made up of a Bowman capsule and the glomerulus. This portion posterior to it, or this you can say this one, this is called as tubule. Now, after taking the excretory material from the blood supply, the Bowman capsule, then transfer it to the posterior this tubular structure, where some more material is also added into it, like you can see the arrow coming inside the tubule means more material is added along the length, like here the hydrogen, potassium, ammonia, urea is also excreted along its length, and some of the material is reabsorbed back, like you can see here the water is reabsorbed, this chloride is reabsorbed, sodium is reabsorbed, what again you can see here all these things, sodium chloride is reabsorbed over there. This reabsorption takes place because I have already told you that the afferent arteriole, after coming out from the glomerulus and circle the tubule, and so it takes up the some of the material which was excreted here by this glomerulus into the Bowman capsule, but it is very much required in the body. So, it must be reabsorbed, it must not be wasted. Then all the tubules, so you are having so many tubules, all these tubules then ultimately join a longitudinal duct which opens behind into the cloaca for the excretion of waste material. As far as the types of kidneys are concerned, there is a kidney which is called ancestral kidney or orchinephros. So, orchinephros may be regarded as a complete kidney or the holonephros, because it extends along whole the length of the coelom from anterior body cavity part of the anterior body cavity to the posterior part of the body cavity. We shall see in later cases that the kidney may not be present along whole the length of the coelom. It will restrict first of all to the anterior portion, then to the middle, and at the last it will restrict itself to the posterior most portion, but here it is present all along. So, it is called the ancestral kidney or the orchinephros, or also called as holonephros, because it is a complete kidney having its length all along the coelom. The tubule of this kidney, they are segmentally arranged. So, it means one segment will have the one tubule. Each tubule opens by peritoneal funnel or nephrostome. Again, this is the opening which is called as nephrostome or the peritoneal funnel into this coelom. This is the coelom, and very much near to this nephrostome you are having the hanging glomerulus without capsule, because capsule is formed normally by the end of this tubule, but the tubule is having its length short, it is not touching directly it. So, this coelom, the cavity inside it, is receiving the hanging free blood capillaries in the form of glomerulus, and very near to it, it is having the nephrostome, that is the opening of tubule. All the tubule were drained by common longitudinal Wolffian or archinephric duct. So, this duct is called the Wolffian duct, this one or the archinephric duct. So, all tubules they join it. Archinephros is found today in the larvae of certain cyclostomes like myxine, but it is not found anywhere in the adult vertebrates. It is supposed to have given rise to the three types of kidney. This type of kidney has given rise to three types of kidney: the pronephros restricted to anterior portion, mesonephros restricted to middle portion, and the metanephros restricted to posterior most portion. Let us look. It is supposed that the three types of kidney represent sequence or three successive stage of development, because all of them will not be present at the same time and will not be functional at the same time in a same individual. So, while looking at the pronephros, mesonephros and metanephros, you can say that these are the steps of the development, because ultimately the metanephros kidney is highly developed structure. So, prior to it, it was mesonephros, and prior to it, it was pronephros. So, you can say from the primitive kidney, the steps, first step is the pronephros, second is the mesonephros, and third is the metanephros. Let us look at the pronephros now. Now, pronephros is present in the embryos in the larval stage of all vertebrates, and because it is the first kidney to appear in the vertebrates, so called the pronephros, and it is present very much immediately behind the head. So, it is called the head kidney as well. So, you can look at here, it is present at the anterior most end, not all along the whole length of the coelom. It is retained throughout the life in adult cyclostomes and few bony fishes. There are 3 pronephric tubules you can see, 1, 2, 3 in frog embryo, 7 in human embryo, and about dozen in chick embryo. So, their number may vary from one individual to other, but whatever will be the number, all these tubules will remain at the anterior end of the coelomic cavity, so called the pronephros. Each tubule opens into coelom again, just as we have studied prior to it, with the help of the opening called the nephrostome, and also projecting into coelom very much near to it are the not connected with it are the glomerulus without capsule, and as we have already discussed in the previous slide. Now, in some of the cases, so many glomerulus, they comes together and form a bunch of mass of the blood capillaries, compound glomerulus you can say, which is called the glomus. Glomus and the tubules become surrounded by a large number of pronephric chamber. So, you are having a very much pronephric chamber, and because this glomus is formed by the combination of the so many glomerulus. So, you can see that so many tubules like 3 shown over there, they are opening just near to it, because here every tubule is not near to a separate glomerulus, because the glomerulus have combined themselves. So, all tubules of the pronephros opens into a common pronephric duct, which leads into the cloaca. Then comes to the mesonephros. You can see now the kidney has shifted from the anterior end to the posterior end. Here this is the mesonephros. This was the pronephros if the position was that, but now it is mesonephros which is present over there, and the meta will be far behind. You can see this is the position. So, mesonephros develop just posterior to the pronephros when the pronephros disappear. At first, new mesonephric tubules, these are the mesonephric tubules, they join this main duct, the pronephric duct, in each segment, and then they multiply. You can see they are multiplying, they are increasing their number in one segment, and because of this, this mesonephric kidney is more efficient as compared to the pronephros, because it is having very good number of or more than one tubule within each segment, and moreover these tubules are longer enough, and they also develop the internal glomeruli. You can see Bowman capsule is developing over there, which will have the blood capillaries present inside it, as I have told you in the previous slides. Thus, they remove the waste directly from the glomerular blood, because glomerular blood is directly connecting with the Bowman capsule. It is not taking the fluid from the coelom. The mesonephros is also called Wolffian body. So, this is the Wolffian body. With the disappearance of pronephros, the old pronephric duct becomes the Wolffian or the mesonephric duct. Now, this duct has changed its name, because it is now mesonephric. It has no pronephric structure is attached to it. So, it is the mesonephric. In sharks, tubule extend posteriorly throughout the length of coelom. this tubule. These tubules they extend posteriorly also in sharks also. So, they extend posterior in the coelom all along the length, so called the posterior kidney, and the same this mesonephros in that condition is called the opisthonephros. Mesonephros kidney is not metameric, that means it is not divided segmentally, but in myxinoid like myxine it is segmental, and then it is called the holonephros, because once it will be present in every segment, it means it has developed from the entire mass of the mesoderm, nephrogenic mesoderm from which the kidney originate. The pronephros originate from the anterior part of the mesoderm. So, it is present at the anterior portion of the coelom, and now the mesonephros normally develop from the middle portion of the mesoderm, but if it develops from whole of the mass of the mesoderm, then it is called the holonephros. Then you are having the third type of kidney, the metanephros. It is functional kidney of the amniotes present in reptiles, birds and mammals. Mesonephros was present in the fishes and the amphibians. It is formed posterior end to the from the posterior end of the mesoderm, and its position is again posterior to or behind the mesonephros. Now, what happens when metanephros tubules develop? All the mesonephros tubules disappear. So, mesonephros tubule will not be there, except they will remain present in the male. They will remain present in the male, will remain associated with the testis of the male, forming the vasa efferentia. So, otherwise they have to disappear themselves in case of the female, we shall see in the later case. The metanephros differ from mesonephros in it is having a great multiplication. Now, the number of tubules have increased themselves much more. We have already studied that in the human being there may be 1,000,000 tubules. So, now they are not few numbers of the tubules, they are having a more number of tubules, and moreover all the tubules have concentrated themselves posteriorly. So, they have their position is posterior, and moreover all these are highly you can see highly convoluted tubules. Convoluted means having a very high network folded pattern. So, they are large, they are convoluted tubules, and because of this they have increased the size of a kidney to a greater extent. In developing a new urinary duct, they also differ, that they developed a new urinary duct by budding off from the previous mesonephric duct, and now this is called as metanephric or this is now called as the metanephric duct. The metanephric duct, once it bud off from this portion, its distal tip is highly dilated, you can see over there, and it forms the tip, it forms the pelvis. So, this is the pelvis region, you can see where this one is highly dilated enough. So, just after origin this ureter, you can say it divides repeatedly, and its portion is dilated enough, it is called the pelvis, and because it branch it gives many branches, and thus forming the collecting tubules, because you can see that these branches they basically, if you look at this portion, then they are the basically the collecting tubules of the nephron. So, it means the urinary duct, which is called metanephric duct now, or also called the ureter, this one you can say, or this one you can say, develops by budding off from the earlier Wolffian duct or the mesonephric duct. The dilated portion of it forms the pelvis, this is the pelvis, which forks several times, which gives branches several times, and they form the join the collecting tubules for collecting the excretion from so many these nephrons. You can see so many nephron can join them. The branch, the small buds or the branch along the length of the collecting duct shown over there depicts that so many nephron will join them. Now, the proximal portion becomes the metanephric duct or ureter, and the proximal portion of it is the ureter or the metanephric duct, which will empty into the urinary bladder in the mammals. The mammalian metanephros show greater organization of all as compared to all other animals. Mammalian metanephros is having highly developed organizations. It is having some special features, like it is having a U-shaped loop of Henle formed between the convoluted coiled anterior or the proximal convoluted tubule and the posterior or the distal convoluted tubule. So, you are having a loop of Henle. Then the kidneys, they show outer portion which is called the cortex. This cortex is having good number of or the concentrated Malpighian tubule. You can see this portion is having the this thing which is called the Malpighian tubule, and the inner portion, this is called the medulla. So, you can see over there, this is the cortex, this one, and from this to this is the medulla. This medulla will have the collecting tubules, because you can see this portion will correspond to this. So, it will have the collecting tubules and the loop of Henle, which are arranged into one or several pyramids tapering into pelvis. So, this structure is the pyramid, you can see. So, they are tapering behind into this pelvis region that we have discussed. Mammalian kidney do not receive afferent venous blood supply, as there is no renal portal system, because in mammals there is no special blood supply to the kidneys. So, renal portal system is the special blood supply to the kidney. So, it is not present over there. So, they do not have the afferent venous blood vessels received as we have studied in the previous cases. Thanks. This is all about the various types of the kidney in the vertebrates and their origin.